Raphaël, mon goal. Maintenant... Cadeau. Bien au milieu de la banlieue 13. Ouais, mais c'est une mesure de sécurité. Maintenant, laisse-moi bosser. Confiance. Je suis un militaire, Leïto. J'ai mis saut, j'irai jusqu'au bout.
Hello and welcome to 2.2 Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2004 movie titled District B13. The film begins by showing the harsh life in District 13, an area where different groups of gangsters of different races live. The story takes place in Paris in 2010. Two guards are cooking when K2, the leader of another gang, arrives. He wants to meet Leïto. Leïto stole the bag containing drugs from K2. K2 kills the guards with a surprise move and enters the building. Many people of him arrive to help him capture Leïto. Meanwhile, Leïto begins to destroy the drugs in the bathtub. Two other guards are watching TV, and K2 shoots one of them and takes Leïto's room number. Leïto finds out about the incident and quickly finishes his work. K2 notices that the doors don't have numbers, so he asks his men to search all the rooms. Leïto leaves the room when one of K2's men shoots at him. K2 warns that he needs Leïto alive. Leïto breaks the door and runs away. He is very professional in parkour and it easily leaves the building and enters the roof. Realizing too late that Leïto hasn't just stolen the stash, he's completely destroyed it. As Leïto makes his move, he tears through K2's henchmen like a whirlwind. Vanishing into the concrete maze of the district before they can even raise their weapons. The failure doesn't sit well with Taha Bemamud, the ruthless kingpin of the sector. Hovering over K2 and his trembling crew, Taha demands to know how a single man outmaneuvered a small army to vanish with 20 kilograms of pure heroin. K2's only defense? The man was a ghost, too fast, too precise. Taha begins cleaning house, executing his own men to make a point. Desperate to save his own skin, K2 offers up a sacrificial lamb, Lola, Leïto's sister. He knows Leïto's one weakness is his bloodline. The scene shifts to a local grocery store where Lola is working. In a coordinated strike, K2's thugs descend, abducting her in broad daylight. This wasn't a civil arrest, it was a brutal kidnapping. They drag her deep into Taha's fortress, a high-security hellhole that no one enters without permission. Inside. But Leïto doesn't wait for an invitation. Before the message can even be sent, he shatters the glass, bursting through the window like a shadow. In a heartbeat, he has a blade pressed firmly against Taha's throat. While the guards freeze, Leïto whispers a chilling reminder. He's already inside Taha's head and he's always 10 steps ahead of the game. Then Leïto takes Taha hostage and they leave the place with Lola. Taha orders no one to shoot them. On the way, Lola puts her panties in the mouth of the person who assaulted her. They get into a bulletproof car to escape the area. They go to the police headquarters to hand over Taha to the police. The commissioner is horrified to see Taha and asks Leïto to release him because there is no evidence against him. Leïto shows him a bag containing heroin as evidence. At this moment, one of the policemen informs the commissar that the number of Taha people is 3 times more. So the commissar orders the arrest of Leïto and Lola and releases Taha. Leïto gets angry and tells him that he is responsible for the security of this area. But the commissar explains that this area is separated from the city by barbed wire and Taha's people run there and cannot be controlled. Commissar says that prison is the right place for Leïto because it protects his life from Taha's people. Taha threatens the commissar to let him take Lola with him. Commissar agrees. While Leïto becomes furious, Commissar explains that he has no choice, he will retire in a few weeks and he just wants to finish this job. But Leïto kills him in a quick reaction. 6 months later we see a gang leader named Carlos Montoya arguing with 2 of his men. He is angry with his people for being unprofessional and is looking for better people. They enter a secret casino where drugs are being traded. Sammy finds out through the CCTV cameras that the police have noticed their actions and are planning to arrest them. Sammy accuses Carlos of spying for the police. So Carlos kills one of his men to show that he is not a spy. At this moment, Damien Tommaso from the criminal police reveals his identity and asks Carlos and others to surrender. Damien asks other people to leave the room and takes Carlos hostage. Special forces create a hole in the ceiling. Damien pulls Carlos out through the hole. Sammy and other people start shooting in the room. As Damien tries to escape the hole with a rope, Sammy and his men enter and start shooting inside the hole. But Damien is hidden in the room. They fight each other. He leaves the room and after After that, Damien is hired by Defense Minister Kruger and his assistant Corsini for a special mission. Kruger explains that Taha's men have stolen a special weapon. This weapon is an atomic weapon that can explode up to a radius of 8 kilometers, and if someone tampers with it, it will explode automatically 24 hours later. The bomb was in a truck that Taha people stole after blowing up the truck. They have located the truck with the help of GPS, so they ask Damien to go there and retrieve the weapon. Damien rejects the mission because he does not know the details of the work, but they order that the Damien must do it because the lives of 2 million people are in danger, and a colleague has been considered for him who knows the area well, but he has to release him from prison. So Leïto is ordered to be transferred to another prison. At the same time, we see Damien being tortured by the agents and placed next to Leïto to be transferred to prison. Damien frees himself with a needle and tells a false story about the death of his father and brother by Taha. He tells Leïto that he wants to avenge the death of his father and brother. Then he talks about Lola, who is always with Taha and is bothered by him. After hearing these words, Leïto decides to accompany Damien to save Lola. Damien throws the officers out of the car and they go to District 13 in a police truck. Leïto doesn't trust Damien, so he puts a handcuff on him and threatens him to go the way he says. At the same time, the intelligence forces are following up the process of the mission. Damien is forced to pass the police checkpoint without stopping, and the car gets a flat tire. Leïto says that he knows that Damien is the police and he is not interested in cooperating with the police. The brake doesn't work and Damien hits a car to stop. So he leaves Damien alone and goes to save Lola himself. While Damien is trying to open the handcuffs, some thugs attack him. Damien defeats them and runs away. K2 informs Taha of Leïto's escape. So Taha orders them to prepare to face Leïto. Damien arrests Leïto again. Damien explains about the bomb to Leïto, so this time Leïto really agrees to cooperate with Damien. So they make a plan. Leïto calls Taha and talks about the police he wants to deal with. So they date each other. K2 arrives and they go to Taha together. On the way they find the police truck that Kruger claimed was blown up intact. Damien explains that the bomb will explode soon and he wants to defuse it. Taha answers that if he wants to neutralize the bomb, he must buy it first. So he starts an auction with the help of K2 and raises the price to 20 million euros. Before transferring the money, Damien asks to see the bomb. Taha connected the bomb to a rocket and aimed at the Eiffel Tower. Leïto realizes that the hinge is also connected to the bomb. Taha tells Leïto that he is now one step ahead of him. Damien calls Kruger to transfer the money. Kruger takes the bank account number, but then says that they don't have enough funds and will find another way. Damien pretends that Kruger agreed. They are waiting for the payment request. Leïto is suspicious of what happened, because he does not believe that the Ministry of Defense is not willing to pay such money. They make a plan to escape.
Quoi? Maintenant? C'est celle-là! Ah, c'est ça ta sortie? Tu veux te barrer par la...
They enter the toilet and enter a tunnel from there. Taha kills one of his men as punishment after he finds out about their escape. Then they inform him that the money has not been deposited into his account and all his other accounts have been blocked with the help of the account number. When Taha's people find out that he has no more money, they kill him for the murder of their colleague. From this moment on, K2 becomes the leader of the group. They go to arrest Leïto and Damien. At the same time, Lola finds a gallon of gasoline near her, so she opens the gallon door and spills the gasoline on the floor. On the other hand, Leïto and Damien are separated from each other so that they can escape. Damien steals a car and manages to escape. They arrive at the bomb place, but K2 and his people are lurking there and are blocking their way. K2 allows them to defuse the bomb, but on the way, a giant thug that Taha has already placed there blocks their way. Damien tries to defeat him, but he is too powerful. Leïto, realizing that he is invincible, finds a rope and uses it to his body parts. Then Damien breaks a concrete wall on his head and they manage to defeat him. At the last moment, while Lola is trying to set fire there with a matchstick, Leïto arrives and saves her. Damien calls to get the code to defuse the bomb with only 3 minutes left. Leïto realizes that the code for the bomb is the coordinates of District 13. He warns Damien that this bomb is designed to destroy District 13. He warns that if he enters the code, the bomb will be activated. Damien disagrees, so he gets into a fight with Leïto. After exchanging a few punches, Damien says to let him defuse the bomb, but Leïto reminds him that they lied to him about blowing up the truck and that it was a plan to destroy District 13. Damien still does not accept and they enter the battle again.
C'est pas possible, Leïto, on tue pas 2 millions de personnes. Désolé.
Lola intervenes and does not allow this. Time runs out, but the bomb doesn't explode. They leave the place with the bomb. Kruger and Corsini are surprised that the bomb didn't explode. According to the previous agreement, K2 allows them to leave. Leïto and Damien enter with the bomb. Kruger explains that this was the best solution to destroy District 13. We then find out that Damien has a voice recorder with him and a reporter outside is filming their conversation. Their conversation is published in the news and Kruger is scandalized. Leïto and Lola return to District 13, while Damien explains that the government wants to remove the wall around the area and reopen the schools there. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more amazing movie recaps from 2.2 Recaps.